Welcome back. It's me again. Bio Blame. Well, looky, hands off Snooky. Once again, we are here again with another Mere Mortals racing game. Aren't we so lucky to grace ourselves with these beautiful, beautiful racing games? And they are beautiful if you look at them in a very certain light, very dim light, maybe pitch black. Yeah, maybe. And the one we're looking at today is Turbo Trucks, because I thought, why not? Let's have a look at Turbo Trucks, because it's a truck racing game. There isn't that many truck racing games out there. I thought, why not? Let's do it. Let's have a look-see, shall we? And, yeah, it's just kind of there. Came out in 2006, published by Phoenix Games, as pretty much all of the Mere Mortals racing games were. And it's one of those, it's just kind of there games. The most similar game I can compare it to, in comparison to other Mere Mortals racing games, is probably Doomsday Racers. The difference between that game and this game is Doomsday Racers has horrific track design, and the racing controls do not work with that track design. Whereas with this game, the track design is actually reasonable, albeit very boring. So it works, but as I said, you can see it's boring. It's hella boring, and that's basically the entire game. The entire game is just you pick a truck and you race. There's 3 cups, just like there is in Doomsday Racers. There's the amateur, semi-pro, and pro cups. I beat the entire game in 50 minutes. I'm not even joking, they were less than 50 minutes. Because technically speaking, the last little bit I played of the game was just a single race with the secret vehicle. There's 3 unlockable vehicles in the game, 2 of which I imagine you just unlock by playing the cups, even if you win or not, because we unlocked those 2 vehicles with Doomsday Racers, and this game is literally Doomsday Racers with a fresh coat of paint. If that fresh coat of paint was bought from, I don't know, Poundland. And I didn't unlock the secret vehicle in Doomsday Racers, whereas in this game it was quite easy for me to get first place in pretty much all of the races. I think there was only one race where I didn't get first place, and that was simply because I crashed, unfortunately. Not my fault, and I'll go into the reason why that's not my fault. And it's a very simple reason. Once again, the AI, or the CPU, are on some kind of alternate dimension than you are. They are on rails. They are literally on rails, and it was pretty much the same in Doomsday Racers. So they seem to be following a very specific path, a predetermined path, if you could say, for each and every track in the game, which there is literally like, I don't know, 2 tracks in the game. I'm not even joking. They've created like 2 really long tracks, and they've just cut it up into different segments and called them like different tracks. Literally the exact same thing they did with Doomsday Racers. And yeah, so here we go. Here's all of the different vehicles that you can drive. All of them have slightly different models with a different coat of paint, with very comical names, as you can see here. As you know, and there's the unlockable ones, and then boom, you just have a padlock on itself, which is the secret vehicle. Which you'll see the secret vehicle at the end of this video. Aren't you lucky? So yeah, so they spliced up the tracks. Pretty much, and then just thrown on like a different vibe. Like one vibe is forest, the other vibe is desert canyon, as you can see here. And that's literally the 2 vibes that this game has. And you just have different, the tracks vary ever so slightly. And as you can see, the scenery in a lot of these tracks is just kind of bare bones. You have a few cactus and rocks here and there, shrubbery. And you have like PNG trees in the other one. It's not exactly imaginative. To be honest, I was hoping that the final course, the final track of the game would be an unlockable track, and it would be basically like a mixture of the 2 tracks together. And in the desert, you'd have PNG trees, and in the forest, you would have cactus. Why couldn't they have done that? At least that would have made it a little bit more engaging and entertaining for all of 5 seconds. But we don't have that. There you go. What you just saw there was a perfect example of why you have to just basically avoid the CPU completely. Because the CPU are on a set path. You cannot run them off the road. They can run each other off the road. That's possible. But you can't run them off the road. It doesn't work like that. You can't do that. So you got to be very careful when you're driving past them, because if they happen to turn and clip the back of your truck, guess what? You're spinning out. But guess what? If you tried doing that to them, nothing. You know, at one point in the game, later on in the game, I don't think I'll end up showing footage of it here, I just ended up ramming the person who was in first place constantly to see if I could like spin them out or do something. No, nothing like that. Which is brilliant, isn't it? So well, here's one of the unlockable vehicles, the green machine, because again it's just basically the same truck as the one you see to your left there, just with a different color scheme, and none of them play really any differently. Again, it's one of those weird games where if you pick a smaller truck, you have a better time, because the trucks all control the same, but the size of the models. There you go, see the red truck got spun out by one of the opponents there. It's the only way they'll get spun out. Which, again, it's funny because the back of the box is like, crazy, this is crazy racing. Yeah, what was I saying? So all of the trucks control basically the same, with the exception of the fact that if they're bigger, they turn. So the bigger vehicle, like the one we just passed on the left there, it's harder for it to turn around corners compared to the vehicle I'm driving right now. And that's basically the only difference, which I can assume is every single truck does control the same, but the weight of that truck is a factor. So obviously the bigger truck you have, the harder it will be to turn. But in terms of speed, you're always going 75 kilometers an hour. That doesn't change, or miles an hour, whatever it is. That literally doesn't change. You can't go any faster or any slower. So it makes you wonder how exactly turbo comes into the equation. The name of the game is Turbo Trucks. Is there an auto turbo meter I can use or something like that to give a bit of an advantage? Of course there isn't. That doesn't exist in the game. It's just pointless even mentioning it, because it's not even a thing. And another perfect example is, here, watch this. You see me here? I don't lose any speed going onto the rough terrain. So they couldn't even be bothered to program rough terrain in the game. You just go, there you go, you just go. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You don't even have to follow the roads. You just go wherever you like. You're not going to lose any speed. The only time you really lose speed is going around corners. So don't worry about it. So it's just another perfect example of just poor game design. This game is basically carbon copy of Doomsday Racers, just with a completely different slapdash coat of paint. You know, it's like if you paid someone £5 to paint your walls, and you looked at it afterwards and you thought that looks like shit. Well, what did you pay for? You paid $5 for him to come and just throw some paint at your walls. And that's what this game is in terms of like changing its color scheme from Doomsday Racers to Turbo Trucks. It's just a fresh coat of paint. That's all it is. It's just a fresh coat of paint applied by a very cheap labor. And it's a shame, because I don't understand the mindset that these shovelware game companies have. Why make something like this when you can just go complete hog wild and make something just insane? You want turbo trucks? Fine. Turbo, mega, super, extra deluxe trucks. And basically, they're massive trucks going along, and they just bounce off of the, and they just bounce off of the walls. Have all the bugs and glitches and all that in the game, because that makes it fun. Makes it interesting. But instead, Mere Mortals seems to be wanting to make just the most blandest possible racing games. The only one so far I've played which actually had even remotely a little bit of what I would say, I wouldn't say polish, but imagination, was D-Unit Drift Racing. And that's only because it felt like a fever dream. That's only because it felt like you were playing an Uncanny Valley game. And I don't even think they intended it to be that way. So it was completely and utterly unintentional for the music to go that way, that direction, and for the game to be that way. And by the way, if you're wondering what the music you're hearing in the background, it's Super Trucks Racing for the PlayStation 2's OST. The game literally has like 2 tracks or 1 track in the entire game, similar to Doomsday Racers, and I didn't want to subject you to listening to that track over and over again, and I just couldn't be bothered to extract the track. I haven't got the time to do those kind of things anymore, to be honest, and it's a lot, and you don't realize how time consuming doing those kind of things are. So I just couldn't be bothered to do that. Excuse my yawn. Even talking about the game is making me yawn. Literally, I remember playing this game and I was just yawning so much because of how bored I was. I was making stories because of how bored I was playing this game. All of 45 minutes, 48 minutes it took me to beat the game. I found it to be, I think it was about 45 minutes. Very boring. So, yeah. And, you know, the physics aren't great in the sense of, like, you hit a rock, you can go flying, you hit a tree, you go flying. It happens, but as long as you just kind of avoid those things, you're pretty fine. As you can see here, I'm in the bigger truck. I was still able to get into first with the bigger truck. I did the entire Pro Cup with the King Cobra, which is the second unlockable vehicle in the game, truck. So I was able to do it like that. So it's not too bad. But the bottom line is with this game, it's just not a good game. It's cheap shovelware at its finest, and there isn't really much else to say. The fact that I managed to squeeze 10 minutes plus talking about this game is insanity in itself. Like, what is there to talk about? There is nothing. Like, I tried comparing this to Big Rigs Off the Road Racing, and I literally said in my video on BioLies that at least that game is more interesting. At least that game has these funny bugs and glitches, and you can clip through things and drive through the map and through the walls, and at least it has that level of interest, you know, like interesting bugs and features. And it becomes a meme and it becomes a joke, and people play it for that meme and the joke. But you can't play this game for the meme or the joke, because it's just boring. It's just there. The music is tedious because it's the same track over and over again. I think the main menu might have a different track, maybe. I can't remember. But that's how much I played this game for 50 minutes, and I've already forgotten the game. I played it yesterday. I recorded the BioLies video yesterday, and I've already forgotten, like, the music of the game because it was so uninspired. And then obviously you have the poor track design. The controls are fine based on the track design, but it's not engaged. It's a very boring game. It's not engaging at all, in my personal opinion. And that's just how I feel about the game. It's just not engaging at all. It's just boring. It's just a boring video game. I'll do one final thing and I'll show you the secret vehicle. So here it is. Here's the secret vehicle. Do you believe me when I tell you that the secret vehicle is quite literally one of the smaller trucks, the smallest truck in the game actually, but with no branding, with no name, no nothing. It's literally just black. It's a black truck with no custom number plate, no nothing. How is it a secret vehicle? It's literally an you've just basically made the secret vehicle, and it's called the secret vehicle. It doesn't have a name. A untextured version of the truck. How boring is it? You could have at least made it be that like black and pink like texture missing looking truck or something, or have it be pink, have it be, I don't know, anything. Instead, here it is in all its glory of being just the most boring possible secret truck. It's got to be the most boring secret vehicle in a video game. I'm not even joking. This got to be a contender for the most boring, bland secret vehicle in a video game. And that's all I have to say about Turbo Trucks. Like, to sum it up, it is quite literally one of the most boring racing games that you can play. It's not worth your time. Yeah, okay, it takes like 45 minutes to beat. It's not difficult, but why spend 45 minutes of your time playing and beating the game? That's only something I would do, something stupid that I would do. There you go, here's a I said I was beating like one of the other trucks to try and ram off the road. Here it is. Look at this. I can't even get him to stray off. I don't even have enough force to ram him off the road. Can't do anything. Can't do a single thing. So I gave up in the end. And that's what I should have done with this game. Should have given up. I think I got bored here and smashed into the side of the thing. Let's see if that's what I do. Yeah, I try to see if I can get out of bounds here, and then boom. Believe it or not, I still came first. Oh, I was hoping he would smash into me, but there you go, he smashed into me. But I believe I went through this race and I still came first, even with that crash. I wish this game would crash. That's what I would wish. Like, crash and burn and never have existed, because it shouldn't have. It's a very boring, bland truck racing game. And don't get me wrong, there isn't many truck racing games out there, but there's so many more that are just better than this. Super Trucks Racing has got to be better than this. So all I can say is do not play this game. It's just not worth your time. And I'm going to call it there. I've been Bio. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.